Stop right there. If you've ever been blindsided by someone who walked out of your life like you meant nothing, if you've scrolled through their social media at 2 a.m., wondering why they moved on so easily while you're still hurting, or if you're tired of feeling powerless after being disrespected, this video will change everything. I'm about to show you 5 psychological weapons that will flip the script entirely. No begging, no chasing, no revenge plots. Just pure, silent power that makes them regret ever letting you go. And the best part? By the time they realize what they lost and come crawling back, and trust me, they will, you won't even want them anymore. Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal goes against everything you've been told about breakups and betrayal. Want to know what truly impacts someone who's caused you pain? It isn't sending emotional messages in the middle of the night. It's not the cycle of blocking and unblocking to monitor their activity. And it certainly isn't subtle social media posts about your feelings. That's all just background noise, and noise is meaningless. The most effective response isn't animosity, it's complete detachment. Today, I'll share 5 quiet practices, 5 psychological approaches that penetrate deeper than words ever could. When you implement them, something remarkable occurs. Those who abandoned, betrayed, or disregarded you begin fixating on your absence. They experience remorse. They observe you from afar. Some may even return, requesting another chance in your life. Here's the powerful part. When they eventually return, and many will, you might discover you've moved beyond needing them. Forget the gentle, sentimental guidance you see everywhere. This is the strategy of the resilient. This is Stoicism in action. Let's dive in. When someone wounds you, their ego anticipates a reaction. They expect tears, confrontation, or collapse. Why? Because both desperate affection and intense anger communicate the same thing. You still hold power over my emotions. Don't provide that validation. Instead, offer them the treatment you'd give a stranger. After the hurt occurs, display no anger, no sorrow. Become emotionally neutral. If you encounter them unexpectedly, offer a slight acknowledgement, perhaps a brief greeting, then continue on your way. No emotion, no pause, no lengthy discussions to resolve things, no accusatory glances. You remain courteous, but emotionally distant. This single action disrupts their entire perception. Why? Because it generates an unsettling emptiness in their ego. They start questioning, am I suddenly irrelevant? I was central to their world yesterday. Why am I invisible now? Was I replaced this easily? In Stoic philosophy, we learn to detach from external disruptions. You transform them from a significant factor to an anonymous passerby. You remove them from your life's operating system, the same way you delete an unnecessary application from your device. They aren't an adversary. They aren't an ally. They are simply absent. Remember, hatred isn't love's opposite. Indifference is. When you treat them like empty space, you communicate that their influence has ended. While they spiral wondering why you're not devastated, you exist in complete tranquility. But be cautious. Many will stumble here. They'll fake coldness while secretly monitoring reactions. Avoid this trap. Genuine power isn't in the performance others witness. Genuine power lies in what you do when they're no longer part of your reality. Now they've departed, the space is open. This is when authentic regret begins forming within them. While they imagine you at home, miserable and shattered, do precisely the opposite. Elevate your social circle. Connect with new individuals, better individuals, people with drive, optimism, respect, people who genuinely celebrate with you, people who champion the future you're creating.
visit new locations, acquire new abilities, and crucially, let your genuine happiness radiate, not the manufactured, staged variety you post, hoping they'll notice. I'm discussing authentic joy, the kind visible in candid photographs, in your eyes, and how you smile alongside new friends who appreciate you. This demolishes them internally. Imagine them discreetly checking your profile, and believe me, they will. They anticipate sadness and isolation. Instead, they find you thriving among remarkable people. Suddenly, their thoughts race. Who are these new people? Why such genuine laughter? Why do they appear happier without me? Why do they look even better now that I'm absent? Then comes the sharpest blow to their ego. They comprehend they could have participated in that picture. They could have stood beside you in that new chapter, but they discarded their exclusive access. They witness others treating you as valuable, and it strikes them they were the fool who abandoned that treasure. Jealousy combined with regret creates powerful turmoil. Every photo of you smiling, every accomplishment you share, adds another layer of that turmoil affecting their peace. You demonstrate a harsh truth. They were the barrier, not the prize. You never required them for a fulfilling life. You only needed their departure so something superior could arrive. As Seneca expressed, do not stumble over what lies behind you. Sprint forward into illumination so brilliant that your past's shadows cannot maintain pace. This is the most challenging practice, yet also the most effective. I call it becoming the immovable wall. Someone who's hurt you will eventually begin testing boundaries again. They'll provoke you. They'll post melancholic theatrical songs. They'll upload intimate pictures with someone new just to irritate you. They'll speak negatively about you to shared acquaintances. They'll employ every desperate tactic for one thing: your attention. Practice 3 is straightforward. Do not react. They attempt provocation, you don't respond. They try generating jealousy, you don't flinch. They circulate rumors, you shrug and continue living your life. This is the Stoic art of disregarding. Epictetus taught, no one can harm you unless you permit them to disturb you. When you react, you surrender the remote control of your emotions. You press the anger button, they smile. You press the jealousy button, they succeed. But when you stand firm against their waves, they panic. Your indifference becomes psychological torment to a manipulator. They want witnessing your pain. They need feeling they still register. And when their actions deflect off you like raindrops hitting an umbrella, they begin unraveling. They'll intensify efforts. They'll send casual, "Hey, how have you been?" messages. They'll reference old memories. But you remain consistent, calm, distant, unmoved, as if they're merely a mosquito buzzing near your ear and you can't be bothered swatting it away. The message you transmit is devastating. You can no longer generate my happiness. You can no longer generate my sadness. And you definitely cannot generate my anger. You've lost all influence. Recognizing their complete powerlessness shatters their ego. They don't just lose your physical presence, they lose your spiritual connection. That represents total defeat. At this stage, you've already achieved 70% success, but the remaining 30% determines whether you're genuinely operating at an elevated level or merely appearing strong. There's one fatal trap, a trap most encounter when seeking revenge, and that trap involves your words. The next habit distinguishes between immaturity and mastery. This habit seems counterintuitive in today's exposure culture, but it's the secret weapon of the Stoic mindset. When people inquire what happened, when they ask about the person who hurt you, you don't criticize them. You don't use harsh labels. You don't enumerate their terrible actions. You don't perform the wounded victim role. Instead, you deliver one simple, calm, precise statement. Things didn't work out. I'm focused on better opportunities now. That's it. Why this approach? Why not damage their reputation to feel better? Because silence demonstrates class. The person who hurt you expects a confrontation. They want you screaming, accusing, exposing them. Because the moment you do, they get to say, "See, they're unstable. I'm fortunate I escaped." Your anger becomes their justification. Your pain becomes their defense. But when you choose the elevated path, you strip away that defense. Picture this: a mutual friend returns to them saying, "Hey, I encountered your ex today." They didn't say a single negative thing about you. They just said they've moved forward.
That statement impacts them like a freight train. It forces self-confrontation. They cannot blame you for being dramatic. They cannot distort the narrative and play victim. They're left alone with their own guilty conscience in a quiet space with no distractions. And suddenly, they begin asking, I treated them terribly, yet they still preserved my dignity. They're still gracious, respectful, above the chaos. Your dignity exposes their lack thereof. Your class highlights their pettiness. Your calm shows the world precisely who the superior person always was. People around you will notice. You are the one with character. You are the one who evolved. You are the treasure they were foolish enough to discard. Never descend to the level of someone who hurt you. Stand elevated in the clear atmosphere where your silence resonates louder than any retaliation ever could. And here it is, the final component, the most powerful habit of a truly liberated soul. Deep within your heart, quietly, privately, forgive them. Wait, don't leave. Hear me out. You don't forgive them because they deserve it. They might never deserve it. You don't forgive them because they apologized. They may never apologize. You forgive them for yourself. Stoicism teaches that maintaining anger resembles drinking poison while hoping the other person suffers. As long as you harbor resentment, you remain connected to them. The chains of bitterness are heavier than the chains of affection. They still control your sleep, your appetite, your thoughts. Sever the chain. Release it, like letting a balloon drift into the sky. But here's the essential part. Never inform them you've forgiven them. Don't text, "I forgive you." Don't arrange some peaceful closure meeting. No, you forgive silently and advance. Why maintain secrecy? Because that represents the highest form of liberation. When you forgive in silence, you reclaim every bit of your energy. The pain no longer disturbs your nights. The bitterness no longer ruins your positive days. You become light, unburdened, free, like a bird escaping its cage. And trust me, they'll sense this transformation. Even without seeing you, energy doesn't deceive. When they hear about you, when they spot you from a distance, they'll perceive something different. You no longer carry the weight of history. You are radiant. You are at peace. That frightens them more than anything. It means you didn't just move forward, you transcended. Not partially healed, not pretending wellness, but completely finished. They realize they cannot apologize their way back. They cannot fix it. They cannot reverse it. You processed that emotional chapter and closed it permanently. That's when the deepest regret penetrates their core. They think, I hurt someone pure enough to forgive me, someone with a good heart, and now I can never reclaim them. They've ascended too far beyond my reach. Your forgiveness is a gift to yourself, but it becomes their greatest loss. Observe carefully. Our path isn't the path of petty revenge. It is the path of transformation. These 5 habits were never designed merely to make someone regret losing you. Their true purpose is far greater. They help you return to yourself. When you treat them as unfamiliar, you honor your present. When you upgrade your life, you honor your future. When you refuse to react, you honor your emotions. When you choose elevated silence, you honor your dignity. And when you forgive, you liberate your soul. Stop wasting even one more moment contemplating how to make them hurt. The sweetest outcome is realizing, when you finally reflect back, that they no longer matter at all. You have already succeeded, not because you defeated them, but because you rose beyond them. If you're ready to release the past and step into the brightest phase of your life, leave a comment below. I choose myself. And don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic Habit and activate notifications. We are only at the beginning of becoming unbreakable. Thank you for listening. Live strong.